In this episode of the Junior PenTester training series, we are going to go through the vulnerability capstone room, and this is basically just going to be a practical room where we're going to run through each one of the questions that are over here. I've already launched the virtual machine and the attack box, and we're just going to go through these questions and we're going to answer the questions, and ultimately we're going to get the final flag. So this is a very straightforward video. We're just answering questions based on the information that we've gathered so far, the skills that we've learned so far through the junior pen tester pathway, and we're going to be combining the culmination of all of those skills and all of that knowledge so that we can go ahead and answer these questions today. So super excited to go through it with you. Hopefully you are as well. And this is a part of course, the TryHackMe platform. This is a subscriber-only room that was created for us by CMnatic, which is the person that created all of the previous rooms inside of this module for vulnerabilities altogether. And it's going to be available on TryHackMe for paid members. Now, unfortunately, to actually do these specific questions and answer these questions, you do need a paid membership with TryHackMe, but it's not expensive. It's very, very affordable, and in my humble opinion, extremely worth it, because you will get access to hundreds of rooms that you can use and implement all of the tactics to teach you to be a hacker, and you don't get into any kind of trouble with it. There are no felonies or anything like that. So you get to do as much hacking as you want without worrying about getting into any kind of trouble. So that is pretty much it. There's something in my eye, as you can see. And we're just going to do a quick little introduction to Hackaholics Anonymous, and then we're going to jump into the very first question. If you're serious about your SysAdmin education and you want access to me on Discord, consider joining Hackaholics Anonymous. We have 4 tiers: the supporter, agent, guardian, and master. Each tier gets their own Discord server and early access to content. The agent, guardian, and master levels get exclusive content, exclusive downloads, monthly Python automations, live streams with me every month, plus so much more. And to join, you can simply click the link in the description below, or you can go to our homepage and click the join button there, or you can go to youtube.com/@HankHacksHackers/join, and you will be able to join Hackaholics Anonymous. Now, without further ado, let us jump into the vulnerability capstone challenge. All right, so question number 1, and basically the introduction to this whole thing is that we're going to be doing Acme, the Acme attack against the Acme company. They recently set up a new blog, and the developer team has asked for a security audit, and it's our job to do a security audit, look for any kind of vulnerabilities that we can abuse. And as a part of this, literally question number 1 is to just deploy the machine and wait 5 minutes before it's available. And I've already done that. The IP address has been assigned to me, and the attack box is already up and running as well. So we can just go ahead and open it up in full screen so that it's a little bit easier for us to use it. But that is pretty much it for question number 1. So it doesn't really even count as a question, but just because in the timestamps I'm going to be doing question 1, question 2, etc. This was question 1, was to deploy the vulnerable machine and wait 5 minutes for the attack box to be up and running. So I already have all of this stuff available. I'm going to open up my web browser just so I can go and look at this website, and we will be ready to jump into question 2 officially. So let's do this. We'll load the site, and then we'll actually go into question 2 right now. Question 2 is very straightforward. It says, what's the name of the application running on the vulnerable machine? And so if we actually go to the IP address that they gave us, literally on the front it says, welcome to Fuel CMS. And I'm willing to bet that that is the answer. So Fuel CMS. And what is the version number of this application? And it's right there as well. So question 2 and 3 are pretty much a gimme. So version is not, what is it? I'm sorry, 1.4. I don't even know where the hell I got 2.3. So 1.4 is the version number of this application. So now the first question, or what should I say? This is the 4th question technically, but this should be a little bit, it should involve a little bit more digging. So question number 4. Question number 4 is, what is the number of the CVE that allows an attacker to remotely execute code on this application? So if you remember everything that we've done so far, we can do this in a few different ways. So we can actually open up the terminal and we can use search exploit. So I can do search exploit, and then I'll do fuel CMS. I wonder if that'll work, and hopefully it'll bring something. So we have Fuel CMS 1.4.1, right? So these are essentially, these top 4 are for the 1.4 version. And remote code execution 1, 2, and 3 are all available, and we're looking for the CVE of these things. So they do exist, but we need to actually find the CVE number, the CVE ID. So I'll go into exploit database, and then we'll do the same exact thing. So it'll be fuel CMS, and let's see what fuel CMS brings us here. So we have the remote code execution 1, 2, and 3. They all exist. So the issue is finding the appropriate CVE. Now for this one, we have CVE 2018 16763. So I'm going to kind of just try all of them, I guess. So we'll start with the first one, remote code execution 1. And so the format is that. So we'll do CVE dash and then paste it, see if that's the one. And that, okay, that was very easy. I wonder if the other ones are the same thing as well. So if we do this one right here, remote, 16763. Yeah, so all of them are the same actually. So 2018 16763 is the CVE for all of the remote code execution stuff. So now using the resources and skills, so let's go into question, what is this? Question 5, right? So question 5. Question 5 says, use the resources and skills that you learned throughout this module to find and use a relevant exploit to exploit this vulnerability. There are numerous exploits out there that can be used for this, some more useful than others. And basically, we're trying to get a remote code execution on this thing. So if we were to analyze this one, this seems to be what? A PHP script that we have over here, and it requires a couple of things. Let's see if any of the notes and arguments for this make it simpler to use. I'm going to go through this one, and I'm going to go through all the other ones as well. This is remote code execution 2 specifically. I'm going to go through all of them to see which one would be the easiest one to use. You can technically use whichever one you want because there are multiple versions of this remote code execution script. So whichever one you would be most comfortable with and whichever one it would end up getting you the best results, that would essentially be the one that I would recommend you use. I'm just going to read through them just so I can see which one I would like to use for myself. So based on what I've looked at, I'm looking at all three of them. The first one, number 1 right here, is a Python file. The next one is a PHP file, and the next one, the third one, is a Python file as well. This one seems to be a little bit more in-depth in their writing, and the other one, the first Python one, seems to be much more straightforward. So I'm going to use both of them. So I'm going to actually take these links, and I'm going to go into the attack box machine inside the browser, and I'm going to download them both. And I will use both of them to see which one will actually successfully get me my exploit. So I'm going to download this one. That's the first Python file. I'm also going to go ahead and take this one over here, and I will download this one as well. That'll be my next Python file. And the notes here, there's no notes really, but we can also look at the help menus for these things. But you can kind of tell from here what it requires. So for example, there's this piece where it says if HTTP is not in the URL, enter, give them, the message to enter valid URL. So we know that we actually do need to put HTTP in the URL as well. If we go over here, we can see that the usage is Python 3 and then give the first argument, which would end up being followed by the URL itself. And the URL, there is no specific URL variable here. This is just an example that they give to us, but there's no actual URL variable that we would need to modify. I think it's just something that we would manually input as one of our arguments. So this one kind of seems the most promising for the first attempt. So I'm going to try to do this one for the first attempt, which is going to be the one that, and what's the actual number for this? It's 50477. That's the second one, yeah. 50477. So if I zoom in here, we should be able to see both of these in our downloads. There you go, 50477. So if I do, Python 3, and then I do 50477, and let's do help, see if there's a help menu. So fuel CMS, fuel remote code execution, you have you, and then give it the URL, and then give it the thing, and then Python 5, that's basically it. That's kind of the full thing that we would have to do. So this one seems to be more straightforward than anything else. So I'm going to actually use this one as my first attempt. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this link, which is the target that I'm trying to get the remote code execution for. And from here, we're just going to run it exactly as it says, Python 3, and then we'll do the name of the script, -u, and then HTTP forward slashes, and then we give it that piece right there. Press enter, and connecting, enter command. Did it work? Print working system is system, ls is system. That doesn't seem to be right. So lsla system, that does not seem to be right. It's not working. It doesn't seem that it's working. It kind of felt like it was connected, but it doesn't seem like it's working. The language is PHP, it says, but I don't think it is PHP because this all looks like Python for me. And so if it's supposed to connect, so it says while true, CMD input, style bright for yellow, enter command, style a main URL is going to be this, request get main URL, etc. And so main URL is the fuel page select, etc., 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 quote plus the CMD, and that equals system. Okay, so where's the location of the flag itself, I should say. So if you're struggling, there's an exploit under attack box for vulnerabilities Capstone. I don't want to use the one that they've given to us. Some exploits will require you to set up a netcat reverse listener to gain access to the shell. So maybe that's what I need to do, because it doesn't seem like this would be the case, because this didn't ask for a proxy. There's another one that did ask for a proxy. I think it was the first one actually. Number one is asking for a proxy. The URL itself is requesting that, and it's trying to connect back to us on port 8080. So that could potentially be it. But this seems like it's already connected, which is kind of odd. But it just keeps giving me the same response. Enter command, and then it does that. So, I mean, let's see here. Let's see what we can potentially do with this. Because it seems to be that these are being requests that are being sent. So it seems like we're doing a request to this, meaning an HTTP request. So let me see what we can find here. Okay, so this specific exploit that is over here, as well as the other one that I had, they do not seem to be working. I think there are like some bugs or glitches or something. As we can see right here, none of them have actually been verified to serve useful. So I think we need to move on and try to use something different now. There was something that in the hint of this specific question, it said they already have one for us. And based on some Googling around and some like articles that I just read, this specific script, so if we actually go to the user share exploits portion, and then they have the vulnerability. So if we go over here, they have this Python file right here. So if I run this, so if I actually run the exploit.py and try to do a help menu, it'll actually, or excuse me, it needs to be Python 3, and then we do exploit.py, and then get into that menu. It actually opens up an application for us, and Fuel CMS right here, tested on version 1.4, created by Acid. This is actually something that exists on GitHub. So this is something that you can run. So one of the pieces right here is to get a reverse shell listener. That's one of the things that we can do, which is running the shell_me command, and then exit would run the exit command. And that's basically it. These are like all of the instructions that are available on the specific exploit here. So what I need to do is figure out what else needs to be modified to actually run this thing. So if I just do shell_me, it says enter the attacking machine IP and port. So if I do 10.201.100.108, which is going to be our specific attacking machine, I'll just do port 4444, and it says hope you had your listener ready. And oh, I see, so that would have technically connected, but in this particular case I didn't have a listener ready on the other one, so it wouldn't have worked. So I need to see what's actually inside of this thing, and if I need to modify any pieces of it to connect to the target, because I need to declare a target in order for the exploit to work. So if there is no target that's been declared, then this is not going to work. So this is what we need to do to find out where the actual target needs to be input in here. Okay, so just based on the script right here, the only thing that I can think of is that we would actually need to provide the IP of the target machine that we're trying to connect to as an argument when we run it. So when we run this, we need to provide an argument to it, and that would be the target machine's IP address. And then from there, it'll ask us what would be the port that you would want to connect to and the IP of your attack box so that it creates that reverse shell for you. So what I will do in this case is I'll give it the target machine of the IP address, in this case being this thing, or the target IP of the what is it? Yeah, the target IP of my words are like jumbling together. It's kind of getting late, so okay. Actually, I have not launched it yet. So first we're gonna launch it. So exploit.py, and then it'll get us into this. So Python exploit.py. Vulnerable IP address, that's the usage. So there you go. So it says Python exploit.py, give it the vulnerable IP address, and then you can run it. That's kind of what it is, and that's the menu. But it didn't work for whatever reason, because I thought it was the help menu that I was missing. Okay, so there's the usage. So Python 3, and then we'll do exploit.py, and then we give it the vulnerable IP address, paste that, press enter, and there we go. We have that. There we go. So now we do shell me and press enter. Now it says enter the attack machine's IP and port. So before I do that, I need to make sure that I run a netcat listener. So we will do nc lvpn, and then we will do the 10, 201, 100, 108. Now, if you've never used netcat before, then you wanted to do it in the listening format in verbose output, and you want to designate a port, and you don't want it to use domain name. So you don't want, the N is for the numerical approach to this. So instead of doing a domain, you would do a numerical IP right here. P is we want to assign a port, V is we want to be verbose, and then L is that you want to launch netcat in listening mode. And you press enter, and the usage is incorrect, it seems. So let me see what I did wrong here. Okay, got it. So the issue was I didn't need to provide the IP address. It's been a while since I've used netcat. So netcat-lvnp, and then just give it a port. Now it's listening on the local machine on port 8787. So now we can go into this one and provide the IP address, right? So we want the IP, which is 10.201.100.108 on my machine. And then I'm gonna do 8787, press enter. And now it says the listener has actually captured it. And there you go, my command line has changed officially. So now I wanna know who I am. So who am I? I'm www.data. I wanna know where I am. I am in this location. And I am looking for something inside of this computer by the name of flag. So let me see if I can actually even find this. Maybe it's flag.txt. I'll do this. I'll do asterisk flag asterisk, press enter. Oh, I totally forgot to send the error messages away. And now it's gonna go through all of these and show all the error messages. Dude, I totally forgot to get rid of the error messages. And now I don't know which one is which. Holy cow. Okay, so this is gonna take a while. Okay, it ended. We need to modify this a little bit. So we're gonna search in the root folder. We're looking for a type file, and we're gonna look for the name, and we're gonna do asterisk flag asterisk, and maybe even flag.txt. I'll try that, like asterisk flag.txt. And then this piece is important. You wanna send all the error messages to the dev null folder. So now all those permission denied shouldn't find. There you go. There it is. So it's on home Ubuntu flag.txt. And you see it's just one entry that was returned. So now I can go ahead and find it. Home Ubuntu /flag.txt. And there is the flag. Beautiful. So that was the flag. And that is what the answer was. And we are all good with that. So congratulations. I hope you were able to follow along with that. It was a little bit kind of iffy towards the end there because I couldn't find a proper exploit, and we had to use the one that they provided to us. And this was the specific location of that exploit. And this is the Fuel CMS that was developed by Acid, AC, the number 1, and then D. This is also available on GitHub if you want to go ahead and get it. And the run is Python 3, and then the name of the file, and then you have to give it as an argument the IP address of your target. And then from there, you just need to make sure that you have a netcat listener that's listening on this end. And so let me see if I can exit this thing. And I can't exit it. There we go. Control C will exit it for you. And the command to launch your netcat listener is nc-lvnp, and then you just give it a port that you want to listen on. And then on this side, when you do shell_me, it'll get the attack machine IP and port. And so you give it the IP address of your attacking machine, colon, and then the port number that you're listening on, and then you will go ahead and get that. And finally, the command that actually worked for me to find it once I was inside of the target machine was find / and then you're looking for a file type, so -type F to find a file, and then -name, and then inside of quotes I just do *flag.txt, because usually that's what it's called. It's a flag.txt file is how they, in TryHackMe, that's how they do it. And then the this piece right here, that piece right there gets rid of all of these permission denied messages, so you don't see all of them, and it just gives you the response that actually has what you were looking for. And in this particular case, this was the name of the file that we were looking for, and then I did a simple cat command, and that printed it onto the screen. And that was pretty much it. We officially wrapped it. So hopefully you were able to follow along with that exercise. For the most part, like all of the questions right here were very, very simple and straightforward. The last piece was the piece that I had a little bit of a challenge with, and mostly was because I couldn't find a working exploit. And the exploit that I did find, which was the exploit that they provided to us, that's something that was available on GitHub. So it wasn't something available on the exploit database. So these guys right here, because they haven't successfully been tested, and we see all these X's right here, they were not legitimate. I tried to use them, but they were not legitimate. So the one that ended up working was the one that was actually inside of GitHub repository, which is also the one that they also provided to us. So I just used the one that they provided, which is that Fuel CMS application that we used. And from there, you know, once you have your netcat listener listening and you establish your reverse connection, then you just get the flag. Fairly simple, and you already saw how I just did that. So hopefully you were able to follow along and you were able to complete the vulnerability capstone challenge. And the next piece of this whole thing is when we now go into Metasploit for the next series of videos. So the next 3 videos are going to be on Metasploit, and that's going to be even more fun that we're going to end up doing, and more hacking and more great stuff. And then by the end of this, we're actually going to have the privilege escalation portion, and that's pretty much it. And then they have this PT1 Junior PenTester certification that they have available that I have not gotten. I'm working on CompTIA Pentest Plus, so I'm going to skip that one. But I just wanted to make sure that you guys had all of the foundations and everything that you needed to get Junior PenTester and just kind of understand pen testing and all that stuff. So as you go from this and you go to the CompTIA Pentest Plus playlist, you'll have a really strong foundation and a really strong understanding of that. So hopefully you got value out of this video. If you did indeed get value out of this video and you want more videos like this one, I encourage you to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so that you get notified the next time that a video comes out on this channel, especially as we wrap up Junior PenTester and as we go ahead and wrap up CompTIA Pentest Plus in the upcoming weeks. Leave any questions or comments that you may have in the comment section below about the video that we did today, or about other videos that you may have watched, or if you just have any questions about anything else, leave those questions in the comment section below. And of course, make sure that you like and subscribe and do all that good stuff. There's a bunch of content that's available on this channel, so you can browse through everything that we have over here, or you can go ahead and click this little button right here, this little search button, and then you can search for anything that you would be interested in, or it's like it applies to what you're looking through right now. That could be something that you can search for, and there's a lot of stuff available over here. There's over 400 videos right now that's on this channel, and it's going to only keep growing. So there should be something that you can find as you study more about cybersecurity, pen testing, and system administration, IT, things like that. So hopefully this did serve useful to you and you find everything else that you're looking for. And as always, make sure that you like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so that you get notified the next time that a video comes out on this channel. And then of course we have Hackaholics Anonymous. If you're serious about your SysAdmin education and you want access to me on Discord, consider joining Hackaholics Anonymous. We have 4 tiers: the Supporter, Agent, Guardian, and Master. Each tier gets their own Discord server and early access to content. The Agent, Guardian, and Master levels get exclusive content, exclusive downloads, monthly Python automations, live streams with me every month, plus so much more. And to join, you can simply click the link in the description below, or you can go to our homepage and click the join button there. Or you can go to youtube.com/@HankHacksHackers/join, and you will be able to join Hackaholics Anonymous. I hope I see you in the Discord chats. If not, I hope I see you in the comment section. And that is it for today. It's your boy Hank Hackerson at Hank Hacks Hackers, your favorite network and system attacker/protector. If no one else loves you, Hank loves you. Love, peace, and chicken grease. And I will see you in the next video later.